In High on Life, you come across this little kid.
Whoa, what are you doing? Come on, he's just a kid. Don't shoot him.
Oh, you don't want to shoot me just because your gun said not to, just because you're your little gun.
Now, video games usually have rules to stop you from taking this little punk out. However, High on Life doesn't just allow you to cross the line. They use it to brutally roast Fallout fans.
I look so shootable.
I am not shooting a kid.
Ah, you shot me up there.
All right, there. Are you happy now? Well, I didn't think we'd be allowed to kill him.
So today, I found the most disrespectful shots games took at each other, and Borderlands 2 does not hold back. See, there's this side quest where all you gotta do is deliver pizza, except as you make your way further and further into the sewers, you'll realize Borderlands is making fun of another franchise.
Is that marshmallows and stag urine I smell? Yummy! Come on in, dude! What the hell? Get him, dude!
Now 4 mutated creatures will rush out of the sewers just to fight you. Mick, Dan, Ralph, and Lee. But if you still haven't gotten the hint from their initials, there is one more enemy to fight. Yeah, that's Master Splinter, and the whole thing is a hilarious troll to the Ninja Turtles. However, the pettiness goes even further in House Flipper 2. While you're renovating these abandoned buildings, you can find a book named Wild Ride. It's part of the Bewitcher trilogy, and just from looking at this thing, any fan of The Witcher knows exactly what they're making fun of. When you read the blurb, it says it's the story of a passionate romance between Geralt of Tibia and Yennefer. Well, if you know anything about what that unicorn represents, a passionate romance is definitely one way to put it. However, that's a love letter compared to how Kingdom Come roasts the same game. See, they were a little more honest about how crazy it is to get intimate on a stuffed unicorn. And that's why you can head to this stable and find a horse named Roach for sale. Already a pretty cool reference to Geralt's actual horse, but then the seller mentions this.
Oh, she's a pretty good horse. Oh, she's got a mind of her own. I bought her from some old Polish fellow. He said, now he's settled down with a wife, he's afraid she'd want him to stuff her. Them Poles are a perverse lot.
Over in Ghostrunner, you can find a tiny Easter egg that roasts 2 other games with 1 character. Now, you'd seriously have to go out of your way to find this one, but once you do, you'll discover the corpse of Jacket from Hotline Miami. And the best part is that this is actually a reference to Payday's collab as well. But Rage takes it a step further by taking shots at an even more popular franchise. Now, there's a secret you can only find if you climb an extremely tall tower and then look down. If you jump onto the mattress to get a closer view, you'll quickly realize that this guy didn't make it. An obvious jab at Assassin's Creed and their super unrealistic hay bale jumps. But what happens when 2 different games get pitted against each other? See, Dredge and Dave the Diver both came out in 2023 and absolutely took over the internet. And of course, with them both being indie games about fishing, people were constantly comparing the two. Well, it looks like Dredge took notice of this and decided to get involved in the beef. That's why you can sail out to Starlight Pontoon, only to find the long-lost wreck of Dave the Diver's boat. Usually small mobile clones try to stay under the radar, but this developer chose violence instead. Look at what happens when you walk up to this seemingly innocent wall inside a block strike. Don't worry though, Cyberpunk doesn't just take it, they also dish out roasts of their own. For example, back in GTA San Andreas, there's a mission where CJ and Big Smoke are chasing after a train. And if you totally sucked at this, you'd be told,
all we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
And now that you know that, you could go back to Cyberpunk's train tracks, only to find 2 dead dudes named JC and Little Smoke. And the cherry on top is their last words. All you had to do was follow the damn train, JC. Honestly, one of my favorite roasts from the whole video. However, I saved some of the most brutal for later, but for now, let's move over to a super underrated game, Dead Rising. They nailed the zombie genre so much that they just had to throw shots at the giants who came before them. That's why one of the stores in the mall is Jill's Sandwiches, a roast of Resident Evil's corniest line.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
What?
Okay, so you might be thinking, these are towing the line between jabbing and paying tribute. But trust me, what Dying Light did, it might be one of the most direct roasts I've seen in all of gaming. See, back in 2015, Destiny did an ad campaign with Red Bull. If you bought the energy drinks, you could get codes that unlocked an exclusive mission that then gives you the fastest vehicle in the game. Well, turns out Dying Light saw this and thought it was terrible that a company was forcing its players to buy energy drinks. So they did a campaign of their own, #DrinkForDLC. By simply just drinking water and sending a photo of you doing it, they would add a whole new DLC to Dying Light as a reward. And when we finally got to play this free update, all the quests revolved around water being restored to the town. Except, if Bungie needed any more shots thrown at them, the quest ends like this.
It's better to drink water than energy drinks.
But what about a game that roasts its own developers? Now, if I say the name Naughty Dog in 2026, you'd immediately think Uncharted or The Last of Us. Well, before all of this, they got famous for making the cult classic Crash Bandicoot. And that's why in Uncharted 4, there's an entire level where you sit in the living room and constantly make fun of their old game.
Foxes can't do this.
It's a bandicoot.
That doesn't look anything like a bandicoot.
Have you ever seen a bandicoot?
No, but I'm sure they don't wear sneakers.
Stalker is a game that asks the question, what if the Chernobyl disaster was somehow worse? Well, in that case, not even a radiation expert such as Gordon Freeman would be able to survive. Yeah, the man who can traverse the world of Half-Life is now an actual corpse on the Stalker map. And the craziest part happens when you search his body. You get to find out that his bosses sent him here after the events at Black Mesa, and he struggled so badly, he had to give up his iconic crowbar just for a can of meat. But here's my favorite part about all of this. In Stalker 2, the sequel that dropped 17 years later, players found Gordon yet again. Except this time his skeleton didn't just have that classic pair of glasses, but also the long-lost crowbar. Nice. And Lara Croft has to be one of the most bullied characters in all of gaming. But one of my all-time favorite examples of this is the time Duke Nukem threw subtle digs at her. In Time to Kill, there's just a random closet you can open that belongs to the one and only Lara.
You skanky outfit.
Bruh. But in 2018, when Fortnite took over the planet, it was bound to get some copycats. You could literally scroll through the App Store back then and see pages upon pages of Fortnite clones. But by far one of the most popular was a little game called Creative Destruction. Now, it totally piggybacked off Fortnite and ripped them off, and it was honestly just a terrible clone. But on the bright side, Creative Destruction did have some original items just to avoid a lawsuit. One was a weapon called the Destructor. Well, fast forward a few years, and Fortnite added a brand new weapon to their game called the Recycler. Not only was it giving Creative Destruction a taste of their own medicine, but the name was also a blatant roast. Not to mention the weapon straight up sucked. This thing was so bad that literally no one picked it up, which honestly just makes the joke 10 times funnier. But one of the best roasts in this whole video is hiding in Borderlands 3. Because there's this secret enemy that went over a majority of players' heads. Now, it's not a boss battle or anything cool. There's just a low-level grunt named Road Dog. This guy wears a mask, has a gigantic belly, and literally throws chains at you. Yeah, it's pretty much impossible not to know who they're making fun of here. When Ghost Recon Wildlands brought a gaming legend out of retirement, they just had to throw shots at another game too. See, in the story, Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell shows up and mentions a different legend who sadly never got brought back.
You have heard they don't make them like me anymore. There was this other guy, though. Army infiltration. He wore a bandana or something.
I heard he finally retired.
Really?
Yep.
It's only me.
Even Sam can't believe what Konami did to Metal Gear, and of course their stealth icon, Solid Snake. But in the long-forgotten Simpsons game from 2007, they included an entire level that takes place in World War II. And the whole thing seems to be a parody of just any random war movie or game. Well, that's until they created an entire trailer, put it on YouTube, and revealed it was all one big roast of the Medal of Honor series. Oh, and by the way, you know how Cyberpunk is set in, well, 2077? That's 73 years between the events of the game and the release of Half-Life 2. And you're probably wondering why I'm telling you this. Well, because in one of Cyberpunk's quests, there's a small shard you can pick up, and it's an old review of a game. After 50 long years, the wait is finally over. The third and final installment of the No Life series will be available for purchase tomorrow. With Alice at Baron's side and trusty crowbar in hand, those nasty aliens are in for a rude awakening. Yeah, looks like even in Cyberpunk's universe, Half-Life 3 didn't come out until 2054. Honestly, sounds about right. And over in Henry Stickmin's Escape to Prison, there's a single choice that reveals a hilarious roast. Now, there is one specific moment when you're running down a hallway where you can either go left or down. Except, if you pick this one, this is actually a roast of Smash Bros' most controversial update. Back in the day, Brawl added a mechanic that just tripped over your characters for no reason. And this was such a terrible decision that upset players that even other games made fun of it. Although, what about a roast that backfired? Well, in Earthworm Jim, they added a funny Donkey Kong head with an arrow straight through it. You know, just a simple reference. However, Nintendo took this as a declaration of war. They clapped back even harder in the next Donkey Kong game. During the awards ceremony, it's themed around Cranky's video game heroes. Now, it's almost always Link, Yoshi, or Mario up here. You know, classic Nintendo characters. But over in the dumpster under the No Hoper sign, you can find Sonic's shoes and also Earthworm Jim's plasma gun. Yeah, I don't think revenge gets any sweeter than that. And those were games that roasted other developers. It's been Sammy. Keep it here on T5G.